Hello and welcome to this video. Today we're taking a look at Market Delta Trader, and we're going to talk about how to use the footprint charts in conjunction with the depth of market windows where you can place orders and things like that. What we're going to talk about today is using it for volume delta. So we're going to take a look at kind of what that is, how we can configure it, and how we can configure some settings that you may want to adjust along with that. So let's go ahead and take a look here. We have Market Delta Trader open. You can see that it is here. We have our footprint chart over here to the left hand side. We have our depth of market screen to the right hand side. It's all one window. We can scroll back through the history here. Now Market Delta Trader by default for these footprint charts will actually use the values here, and we can access these values, the footprint type, as the bid and ask. So we're seeing the bid and ask there on each of those boxes for the footprint chart. We also have the option to use just overall volume here, so traded at those price levels. But we can also use the delta volume here. So if I were to go down and use the delta volumes, this is going to be the difference between both the volume at the bid and the ask. And so we're going to see, kind of get an idea of the market sentiment behind what's happening currently. So if you kind of take a look, we can view each of these boxes here, and these will show the volume delta or delta volume at each of these price levels. So for example, 1687.25 here, we saw a volume delta count of 16 during this time period. That's another thing I wanted to take a look at. Not only do we want to configure, of course, what type of footprint chart we want, so whether that would be bid or ask, volume, or the delta volume here, we actually want to adjust the size of these bars, so the interval. So if you take a look at the interval, we have three different types of options here. We have ticks per bar, time per bar, or volume per bar. We have it set to the default, which is time per bar, which is set to 1 minute currently. So each of these columns here is 1 minute in time. So if we wanted to adjust that, for example, maybe I wanted to view something like 5 minutes, we can actually just type in 5 here and select OK. And now we see the footprint charts or the footprint columns for each of these intervals, and these are all 5-minute intervals. So you see this column would be 5 minutes, this column would be another 5 minutes. So within those 5-minute intervals, we get to see the volume delta counts for each of those price points. So we know that during this 5-minute interval here, we saw price trade between 1687.25 and 1686.75, but we also saw the delta volume count. So we see that at 1686.75, we saw about -66 in delta volume there. We also see positive delta volume towards the 1687.25 area. So that tells us just the different types of values between these different price levels, and also what prices were hit during these different intervals. So each of these intervals here, for example, we see about 6 different columns on this interval here. So we know that we hit between 1686.5 and 1687.75 during this time, and the majority of the volume delta counts at each of these price points was positive. You see that we have positive here, positive here, positive here, 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 and we only had negative delta volume and very minimal negative delta volume around the 1686.5 area during this time interval. So this allows you to see the market just in another way. You can see the volume that is coming through each of these price levels during each of these intervals. So I wanted to show you how to configure the footprint chart here to use the delta volume counts, and also to adjust the interval there to your liking, whether it be 5 minutes, 1 minute, or so on, whatever happens to be your specific preferences. If you have any questions about any other options within Market Delta Trader or the footprint charts here, feel free to give us a call or visit our website at www.optimusfutures.com.
you.